What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot-positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but people around here started calling me Bam, and I gotta tell you, I kinda like it. Thanks so much for being here with us, guys. Kind of a crazy thing for us. This is our 6-month anniversary of this show. We launched the show on 4/20 like we had planned. I know it seems a little silly, but we have this show is in development for about a year beforehand. We had a goal to launch on 4/20. The world fell to pieces, and we decided, heck, we're still going to launch on 4/20. So that's what's up. That's why this prologue to the world of Ganjaria, where our main campaign will be taking place, campaign setting of my design, where magic itself finds its source from the Feywild in GANJA. So, you know, some of you guys are new with us. You're just joining us now. Let me just say thank you so much for coming in. Thanks to all the buds for all the warm support and just like all the stuff you guys do. The WeeDnD Hub group in Facebook is like one of my favorite places in the world. It's all just hilarious memes and jokes and good times. Honestly, I've had a couple messages from thank you to those of you who have done so, asking how they can help the show, you know, and so I just wanted to say some of the big stuff, man. Anytime we drop a video on YouTube, commenting on it, liking, and sharing it from YouTube is like huge for us to blow up there. Just following us here on Twitch. Obviously, subbing is a huge step for us. All that money that comes from the subs, we then turn right back around into the show to make it bigger and better every single week. So thank you guys. Thanks for the buds. Some of you guys have been with us all the way back from the beginning. Munch Party, I'm thinking about you mostly, bud. But, you know, a lot of you guys have been riding with us forever. It's weird to think that it's been 6 months. The world has been crazy. But this show and these people and you buds and this community and everything has literally been like my light through all this. So thank you just as a human being. Thank you as an artist. And ultimately, thank you as a D&D nerd, because this is like the best thing I get to do week in, week out. So thank you. On that note, I did want to say we will be coming up. We've done the show every Tuesday, or at least a Behind the Greens or something. We will. After 6 months, we've decided we are going to take a week off. The week that we've decided to take off is the week of the election. So it is super important, and let me just take this 1 second right now to say it is very important that you get out and vote this year. I don't give a fuck who you're voting for. Just get out there and make your voice heard. This is a representative democracy, so let's fucking be represented. So that's the deal. No WeeDnD November 2nd for the election. So we will have one dark week. We will miss you guys. Let's all show our civic duties. I said duty. All right, guys, we are going to bring in the most wonderful part of the show, if you ask this old slob. The wonderful, the fantastic, the amazingly talented cast of Weed&d and 5 of my very best friends. We're going to do that by passing this little magical joint here through the internet to one of my favorite people in the whole entire universe, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl?
Wow! Hey everybody, it's Brenna Folger, Bruno the Sea Serpent. All right, everybody, unclench your jaws. Let's check your posture. Make sure you got some water because we about to play some Weed&d. And I'm gonna hand this over to my girl, Abby.
Oh, thank you so much, my girl, Abby Dandy, a.k.a. Tina Smooth Hands, in the house. 6 months? Oh my goodness! Time sure flies when you're smoking bud with your buds. This one's going right to you, Drew. Passing it to you.
Thank you, baby girl. That haircut, though, still just getting it. I'm just so proud of you. Just everything, killing me, getting that haircut. Like, good for you. 6 months, buds. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, no, we made it. We about to get weird, so why waste any more time? Fucking best friend, let's get this weird shit going on, okay? Holler back at me, 10-4.
Ooh, heard ya. Loud and clear, best friend. What's up, buds? Jake Taylor here as Real Author Von. 6 months. We've all said it. I still can't believe it. Let's do 6 more before I freeze, because I am quivering with anticipation. This one's for you, Gus.
Jake the Snake, thank you very much, my man. Yo, what's up? I am Gus, Two Blunts Langley. I'm going to be playing Divot. So now I'm gonna give it back over to Bam. Let's fucking light this fire.
All right. Man, how the fuck do we do that? You know? It's magic. It's fucking magic, guys. All right, team. Well, we have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take one of these little lighters here. I tend to go with Bic. Not a sponsor, you know, but I do. Still, I'm rocking that In Pizza We Crust one. But we're going to take our lighters, we're going to hold them in front of us, and we're going to go lighters up. Let's play some fucking D&D, guys.
Weed&D, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up roll and make a roll to take control.
Every time, man. Sandy, that theme, every single time, bro. All right, team. What do you say you allow me to set the mood? 6 months, I'm still doing it. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they had finally overcome the madness-inducing magic summoned forth when the fey-touched child Esmerelda approached the cherry blossom tree in the clearing before the Dryad's coat. The combined strength of Ferocious Onyxheart and Tina Smoothhands was able to bring clarity once more to the minds of their crazed allies. Though those allies have changed much since they left the city of Esmerelda. Rial's mind is plagued once more by the mad laughter of Urgon, his longtime tormentor, and after returning once more to the throne of death, Divot is now linked to a mission which will bind to his very life essence. He must kill Synthesis in all his forms. Now, as Tina stands merging with the cherry blossom tree, seeking to call upon the guidance of Shantia, Divot looks up at Rial and hears the heartbeat calling him toward his dark destiny. All right, guys. You all still stand in the mad world. The colors of the stream running past you, purple with silver hues of magic. You hear the faint running of the river, the ripples from which call forth this song that you've heard throughout this entire battle. Those of you who weren't batshit crazy, that is. You look up at the cherry tree, Tina hands fused with the bark at the side of the tree, the gray, ashen-colored bark now rooting in between her fingertips as her eyes glow and she stares toward the wooden face that sticks out of the blossoming cherry tree. Standing nearby, Divot and Brunor, having once, again returned to the crazed world around them rather than the mad tea party, Brunor stands looking around. She's been out of it a while through this match, and standing next to her is Divot. Skeleton arms hanging at either side, no longer living, not quite dead. Staring up with the red mask of death still implanted into the bone of his face. The skin around the edges hangs, sagging. He still looks pretty good, though. He's got a high charisma. In the tree, currently, Ferocious Onyxheart, still kind of trying to reach out to the mind of Rial as you look up upon your friend and ally, who seems to be kind of coming out of the delirious madness, the vibrant laughter that shook the tree. And he's still kind of petting this imaginary cat. You see the strings of magic kind of bringing his familiar into the world as he summons the spell. Tina, you're still standing, at the base of the tree. You're on the small island that the cherry tree stands on, river on either side. You look up at Rial in this moment, and you have this strange feeling of guilt as the hard decision that you had to make between bringing Divot back from the land of the dead, a decision you made, allowing him to stay dead. But now as you look across this island near the Purple River, you see him standing once more, even farther away from the Divot that you had bonded with originally. But there he stands. You kind of zone out. Your grasp on the reality around you no longer clear as you start feeling that surge of the natural energies of Shantia interweaving with the strange magic that resonates from this tree. You know, your spell still taking a while to go, but you all see the glowing lights, the magic of Shantia that you've seen emanate from her before, this golden and white light that just kind of glows from her. You see as that glow starts to rise, as her connection with the tree becomes more and more connected.
Yes, I'm absolutely flush with guilt, and I'm drawn to this natural place, and I start to tap into that meditative natural breath, so I can further harness the life breath of Shantia and further seek an answer to the question I seek. And before I clear my mind to get my answer, I further ruminate on this guilt I feel in the pit of my stomach. And it was supposed to be my choice. It was supposed to be my choice to extinguish Divot's flame in that moment, and yet here he stands, alive, still. I let my thoughts clear, and I turned my mind back to my breath. I inhale, and I exhale, and I glow.
And you feel
and I
that
tap.
river swelling, you know, that power source of Shantia. Again, in this strange kind of magical place, it seems harder to connect with her. You know, you swear you still feel her bounty. You don't feel like you're standing in the shadow of her light. But it's you know, this connection that the two of you had since you've made this bond has been almost instantaneous elsewhere. And once again, these feelings of guilt and remorse have almost battled within you from allowing that inner river to flow. But you do feel the trickle of the river start building up within yourself.
I connect to that life force, and I also connect to this beautiful, majestic, natural, sacred wood in front of me, and I seek answers from it. And I ask, if I may, the question I seek.
Absolutely.
My thoughts turn to this child, this completely unremarkable child.
Oh yeah.
And I ask, is this child a trap?
I don't know. It's a trap.
Oh.
So Tina, you feel this connection to this ancient wood. You know, this gray and ashen colored bark that your hands now seem to have fused with through your magic. And as you feel that, like I said, the trickle of that river building the power within you, you try to fight through the static and the noise and cut through to your goddess, you know, tap into her power, allow her to speak through this tree. And you start to hear a wind building in your mind. All right, so while Tina casts this, you know, again, like I said, this will last for about another minute. And so the question has been asked, but the spell must play itself out. But you all stand now, you know, we're in our various states. Rial, your mind is of the most interest to me in this moment, because as you sit upon the top of this tree, the madness, the tea party, the swirling song, the actual Dryad's cult that emanates from this river around you, your mind is just filled with all of this chaos. And in that tornado of madness that's just swirling around in your mind, you hear a sound you had thought long gone, as the cackle of Ergon
Fuck that guy.
starts laughing, tickling at the back of your mind once more. You know, for a moment, it throws you entirely out of the madness. But yet again, it comes in waves, and you're being torn about once more. Rial, what do you do?
Well, I see him just a bit, kindly, in front of me. His little monocle, his little top hat. He takes it off, pops out the monocle. He looks at me with his galaxy eyes and reaches out his paws and takes off my top hat. The cackles grow a little louder and louder, but over that I can hear, my friend, party's over, as he disappears. And I'm in a tree, and try
Sitting
to
cross-legged
regain
at
my...
the top of this tree.
Shitball change.
I hear this strange sound, and I look down at my friends. I don't know where I've been. And I see Divot looks a lot different. Can I hop out of the tree?
So yes, you know, again, Riao, you're absolutely the most dexterous of the five. So, you know, if it was Thoricus up there, I'd probably have him make some kind of acrobatics check, and just, you know, he might just fall out of that tree. You know, he's strong. He'll pull the tree out of the ground in anger afterwards. But you know, you start, if you'll just be there with me in your mind, in the back of your mind. You know, you're sitting cross-legged on the top of this tree, and the first thing that you notice as your eyes like open and actually take in the wild, you know, technicolor explosion, still a ring of fairies, you know, 50 feet around you, creating this dome of these slowly dancing fairies that seem very interested in what you're all doing. You notice you're very far away from the ground, and so you know, start to fall out of the tree. But so dexterous are you, you know, and spending a lot of time climbing trees in your youth, for sure, as an elven boy. You quickly kind of just grab a branch, you know, launch yourself over, and you realize you're about to like bump into Thoricus. You're like, you know, catch onto two branches, and then you're kind of sitting there like face to face, like 2 inches away from Thoricus.
Do I see any scarification on his face from the mace of face?
Yeah, so Thoricus was brought back to life. However, you know, he's not at full. You're actually doing pretty well, so most of the bulk of it has gone. But you actually notice that the skin where his nose connects to his face, that little tiny piece of skin right here, is severed. And so one of his nostrils, as he breathes, is just kind of like flapping on his face. And he's just like, again, you guys are like 2 inches away from each other's face, just stuck in the, you know, you're just at the bottom branches of this tree.
So given in the moment, I'm not actually going to channel the magic, but I am going to bring up the stone itself while looking at Thoricus and say, best friend, what happened?
Are you good? I was about to deck you, son.
What happened in the last, what happened?
I have no fucking idea. I was about to say, when I showed up and the four of you tried to kill me, what the fuck just happened?
We tried to kill? Last thing I remember.
Most of you succeeded, because I did die. Thankfully, beautiful haircut just came in and saved the day.
It was literally
Found some
Tim's new
mercy
haircut.
and saved this old man. And a fabulous haircut. Again, I have to say. Just so.
How did you die, Thoricus? What happened?
So at this point, you know, Divot, Brunor, you guys are kind of like aware of this conversation as well. If you know, I don't want to, you're probably waiting for me to be like, here's some narrative introduction. No, at this point, you guys are kind of just standing around the tree. All of you keenly aware of a glowing tin of smooth hands at the base of this tree, you know, but yeah, you do have this next kind of minute to talk with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to take a second and put my hand on Divot's shoulder and just kind of turn him around and, hey, Big D, thanks for pulling me out.
Did you lose weight?
You're most welcome. And so like now my eldritch energy, instead of shooting out of my hands, like runs down my arms like a little lightning rod. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to blast anybody, but I want to just like let a little bit of a glimmer. And I'm like, not bad for a kid from the rock, huh?
Talk about a lightning dodger.
Yes.
Gnarly.
Divot's old nickname.
So glad.
I look at Thoricus and I'm like, we all die, Thoricus.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
That's dark as hell.
It's the only thing we all have in common.
The first timer.
So, wait up.
Divot's like, oh, dude, you get used to it.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
Wait till you get the stamp card. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we get jackets.
I died. This is my 10th one, so I think I get a free ice cream.
Yeah, I'm at about a baker's dozen there now.
Actually, this I hate to jump in. This does bring an important moment. I was gonna do this off camera, but I decided that for our newer players, it's kind of cool to see like what we're doing. Pull the screen back a little bit. So what we've actually done is we've used the homebrew wraith of the Revenant. So a Revenant typically would be a revenge ghost that has this one thing he has to do, and until he does it, he can't die. And so we've modified that a little bit through Divot's association with death. As he's acting more and more for him in the world, and so the thing he's tied to is the destruction of synthesis in all his forms. So just real quick, just the D&D of it all. Divot now, if you're below half your hit points, you start gaining 1 hit point a turn. So at this point, even though you had recently died, you actually notice that right now you're at half health, and your wounds just kind of slowly heal. It's pretty slow. 1 hit point a turn isn't, it's not like you're just rushed back to full health, but it is a cool thing. You have to be below half of health to do it. If you die, you are returned to life 24 hours later. So that's pretty dope.
What?
Amazing.
Now none of you guys know this, so this is a little metagame. And then this is the only reason I mentioned this now, Divot. As you're talking with your friends, and that heartbeat is beating louder and louder as Rial gets closer and closer to you. You remember your mission. You remember the last mission that you were on, how you were called to your target by the same heartbeat. And suddenly, you hear the faintest heartbeat. And you look up, and you see that the sound from miles and miles away is emanating from the top of the Malachite Mountains. And in this moment, you know that is where synthesis dwells.
Fuck.
But a much louder heartbeat beats right in front of you.
So I hear the beating in my head, and we're all like chatting, like catching up a little bit, and it's like boom, boom, and I'm trying to listen, but it boom, boom, and I'm like, well, because I just have to make noise so that I'm not hearing this, and I'm like, Tina, how fortuitous of you to know that I needed enough time. I appreciate you. That must have been very difficult, letting me stay dead like that. So intuitive of you. Thank you.
I can't. I'm focusing, right? I'm glowing.
Yeah, Tina
know that.
actually
So
can't
she
hear
says
you.
nothing.
She's engaged. You're speaking to
I'm
the glowing
I'm
light.
focusing. I'm meditating.
Okay. And then I'm just like, okay, all right, great.
Good talk.
And I'm like, I'm trying to be inspirational, and I'm like, the 5 fingers of a hand, though different sizes and different purposes for fingering of things, must all work in the same direction to form a fist.
You see the eldritch energy flows to your fist, and there's this green glowing fire crackling at the end of your skeletal fingertips. You let the power dissolve. Divot, you are definitely now in this new incarnation, this new, being refed the acorn in this new size. You feel your eldritch magic is definitely much more under your control.
I look right at Rial, and I'm like, is the new voice too much, or do you like it? And then I look back at the rest of the group, and I'm like,
I say, in doses, it's really good. And then I walk up and kind of wiggle his other bone arm, like second bone arm. Nice.
So
and I'm gonna be like super in my head for the rest of the day about like, well, what does that mean?
Rial, as you examine, the
Yes
bone
or no,
arm,
but it's fine.
you kind of look over your shoulder, and there's just this pile of skin and muscle
Melted
on the
cheese.
ground, just like some flies, like even like golden magical flies, just like flying all around. This repulsive mass of flesh and muscle from where Divot just basically threw his arm meat sloppily, like a used condom, onto the ground.
Oh,
Come on.
that is incredibly gruesome. I do not appreciate that. What?
I didn't do it. I just said it.
Do I know Riel's got a weak stomach. Do I need to like roll to not barf at that?
Yeah, actually, that's a great. Give me a Constitution check, Rial. You're
Okay.
suddenly your finger, as you're kind of like moving his bone, it touches upon one of these little gelatinous remains of meat. You know, that's kind of pressed in between two areas of bone that didn't cleanly slide off in that disgusting melted cheese slop sound. And so your finger touches it, and suddenly it's like you can taste it. You're like, oh god, and you feel it. It's built in this, and you're taking a couple breaths,
Oh my.
with just a 10, I'm sorry, unfortunately, yes.
Oh.
Rial, you,
It's Ralphin.
Yeah.
and you do that thing where you try to catch it, and it kind of comes through your nose a little, you're like, and then that makes you throw up more. And so you literally just throw up all over the front of Divot.
Wait.
Ah! Oh man. This is awesome.
This is, so yeah, Divot, you're kind of-
Okay, wait. I just look at him and I'm like, I'm going to kill you for that.
Can I use prestidigitation to get rid of the vomit?
Yes, you can. This is actually the greatest use of prestidigitation I've ever heard.
Oh, that was me.
Sorry.
So Rial, you're like, and you just kind of like, your hands start glowing with, your magical energy, and just like the green flames kind of like instant dry cleaning his clothes. You just yes.
Are we?
We're back.
Eee.
Sorry, guys. It appears that our internet is high as well. No, we're back. Let's jump right back in.
We're back. I'll smoke that. We're back.
We're doing it. We're doing
Okay.
it. All right. So, Rial, you just threw up all over your friend Div.
Okay.
And then used your own magic, your prestidigitation. Again, proof I'm not too high yet. I can still say that word. Used your prestidigitation magics to clean his clothes. You're all kind of still standing around, just kind of talking through like, what was this? Was freaking crazy. And finally, the glowing light from Tina that you've all just kind of been like, yeah, she's doing that magic thing with the tree. Finally, the light glows and starts emanating from her. Tina, we jump into you. You feel, again, that trickling river of energy, that, the river of your connection, your power source that you draw from Shantia. And finally, each of those little trickling strains of energy that are flowing through your body start connecting. And you feel that rushing wave once more inside yourself. And you channel that energy into this tree. Now, the question that you asked of the tree was, would this little girl be a trap? You see, the tree, all of you guys see, is Tina's arms connecting to the bark, her fingers fused with the gray ash skin of the tree. You see it starts shaking, and all these giant cherry blossom leaves start falling off, and they start getting spun around into that same kind of whirling dome of fairies around you. Now you see a bunch of cherry blossom leaves and a bunch of fairies just kind of slowly whirling around you. Tina, you hear a voice in your mind. Weal and woe. Save my daughter. And you see all the leaves summon back to the tree and reattach. And you see the fairies dissolve. And like a smoke, the technicolor world around you starts to dissolve away. You're looking at the cherry tree as the island at its base starts turning back to its original gray colors. You see as the water, no longer purple and silver, returns to its kind of dark blue hue. And slowly, like a simmering wave of ash, this other world fades away.
And I think about this other world I'm in right now, and I think about this sacred, natural place I'm in, and this mission I've been called forward to save her daughter, and I accept the mission. And I think about family. My thoughts turn to family as I'm called back to this reality I'm in. And I feel the sensations of my small body, and I welcome back to life. And I turn around and I look for Divot, because I wish to connect to my own family in this moment.
So Tina, after this, divine connection between you and this tree, as a swirling magic, and all these waves of color and fanciful, you see the fairies dissolve into dust as this universe is kind of peeled away from you. And you stand once more on just the green ground before the brown skin of this cherry tree, your fingers still humming with the magic. You look forward, and the face is still there in the tree, but it's unmoving. It didn't go away with all of this other stuff. And you're looking upon kind of the soft, frail features, and you turn, and in stark juxtaposition, you see the red skulled face mask of Divot, skeleton from shoulder to fingertip on either arm, standing with his green dragon skin collar popped. He's got a stogie kind of hanging out of his mouth and a great plume of smoke. As you kind of look over at him, again, that swelling feeling of guilt that you have, and you see there's kind of that light that's always there, even through this magic. Divot, your little brother, looks back at you.
Welcome back.
I never really went anywhere.
How'd you get here?
I fell out of a tree.
I roll my eyes and I look upon him and I see.
Don't you dare. I want to roll. Don't you skim past a chance to see the roll on this Tina eye roll. It changes the entire mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Sure.
A 9, not your finest, Tina Smooth Hands.
It was a quickie. A quickie.
Yeah.
Quickie.
It's when you kind of had something in your eye, so it was like a little incidental eye roll as well.
Whatever. I really want to get a good look at him because I want to see the horror that I think is in front of me.
Yeah,
I
you
want to
look,
actually
I've
make my
described.
eyes roll around because I'm like dead and stuff. So I like look at her and just go.
Oh, God. What have you become?
An instrument like a bard is supposed to be.
I see the flesh kind of falling off of Divot, and it reminds me of Brian. So I'm gonna start looking around for him if I can.
Yeah, you're like, wait, if Brian was here, he'd be eating that disgusting pile of flesh right now.
He's welcome
and so
to it. I'm done with it.
You look at the disgusting pile, and like a tear comes to your eye because you remember. Yeah, when last you saw Brian, Brunor, he had turned, looking forward past the karsts toward where this beam of magic seems to be coming down. Still. At where what you guys have known to be the Dryad's Holt, and so she's kind of disappeared, along this little pathway, and like I said, they kind of disappeared around a corner. That's the last you saw them.
Hey guys, do you think we could continue this while we walk, or is there anything else that we need to do here?
Yeah, we could continue this while we walk, and I bury any direct and immediate feelings of anger and frustration because I know that while Divot is on a power trip, he is my brother and I love him. And we are a group and we are in this together for a greater cause. So any whatever I am feeling can be pushed aside for the moment. So we continue forward.
All right. Here's what I want to do. I want to burn a point and I'm like, everyone looks a little uncomfortable. So I wanna make myself look like how I used to look, and like the grandest I've ever looked, but with all the edgy flair. But like I'm not, I just want to look like maybe a little handsomer than I actually was.
Yeah.
I know, but like, all right, go for it. I want to like mystique you and be like, no, I want the real Mystique. I said the real one.
Okay, all right, and then I look her in the eyes with my bone hand, and like mid mantle of inspiration, I instead like, and I turn into like an embroidered version of the undead me.
Yes, like the Gucci version.
Yes.
So yeah, Divot, you burn one of your bardic inspirations, and you take on your wondrous, visage for a moment. You swell, you see the colored pattern kind of go over your skin, and you smile with delight to be accepted by your other sister, Bruno.
Yes, and I would like to give temporary hit points to everybody except for Tina.
I thought it was gonna be.
The shade.
Wow. Absolutely wow.
You guys are becoming more like brothers and sisters every day.
I actually wanted to take the high road in this moment.
Of course you did.
Oh, I look at her and I'm like, your
I-
skill with healing. Nah, I was just kind of pissed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, actually, in this moment, I wanted to reach into my bag. I was being petty earlier when I took your hat, and I wanted to return it to you. I'm sorry I took it. Please, have it back. It's rightfully yours.
Okay, I am actually very touched to have the hat back
So
because
Divot,
You are.
my head was cold.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you feel the cool forest breeze upon your scalp, your fleshy, saggy-skinned scalp, and you take the hat from Tina, and there's this strange little moment of reflection that you have as you look upon this jetting orange and red phoenix feather. And again, you've recently had these extreme. I mean, you exposed yourself to 9th level time magic, and so having died, been reborn, been scolded a bit by death, but then granted more power. You kind of that sick irony that you have when you look around the world now, and you're like, oh, this is how you guys want to choose to perceive time. It's like you get that there's some other level to it, and you look at the phoenix feather, and you kind of laugh at how dumb mortals are. That it's like, oh yeah, this bird is gonna bring you back to life. That's what it takes. No, you fool. Simply bargain with the powers that be, and you can control your own destiny. And you kind of look down on this gleaming orange feather in the moment. Still a gorgeous feather nevertheless, but the phoenix of it all doesn't quite sit with you anymore. But you cover your cold dome piece and stand, look, and fly.
It doesn't quite feel the same as it did before. And I don't say anything, but I look at Tina and I shoot her a message, right? And I'm like, I just say, the hat I'll keep. The feather looks better with your outfit. I want to do it via message. And I take the feather out of the hat and give it to her.
I nod my head and tuck the feather in my bag.
As he hands the feather to you, you kind of see that instant juxtaposition in front of you, this phoenix of life and rebirth in the skeletal fingertips of your brother, and the irony of that is not lost upon you, as you have these blooming and dying flowers on your shield. And you take the feather, and bury the hatchet in your bag, so to speak.
I just had one question. Could anyone explain to me what the fuck is happening right now? Anyone?
While we're walking, and I start off down the path.
Yeah,
let's
so
go.
Brunor's
What
already
just
knee deep
happened?
in the water heading across the river. But yes, that question can be asked. I'm in fact in this point, you guys get history checks. I know how much you guys love skill checks and succeeding at them.
They're
But yeah, don't forget 8 temporary hit points to everybody except for Tina. Sorry, Tins. It's them smooth hands.
Yeah.
Your hands are too smooth.
I'm laughing with you. I am. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
man.
All right, so yeah, let's do history checks real quick. Just to
Lovely.
kind of like, man, that was a very specific thing. Does that resonate with anything you might remember?
Nah.
I want to give you disadvantage so that that's actually a 0, but I can't.
Are we all? We're all failing.
Oh,
history
crit!
checks?
Thora crits! Onyx crit! Crits? Yes! Raka! Here, let me play your jam. Man, yeah, this time. No, and a 1! Alright, we're double critting this. Double crit hit, team. Crit hit for Thoricus is 20. Crit hit for Brunor's 1. This is the first one.
God.
That's 1. I'm gonna wait, it's important. Alright, there we go. Double crit hit. You were here for it, folks. Let it never be said. 6 months. All that. You gotta see it here, folks. Yeah. All right, dudes.
Oh,
So,
boy.
Brunor and Tina start like playing patty cake with each other, and they're like, man, yeah, this game. I remember this when you start thinking about you do that thing where you're like up and then down and then
Oh,
back.
yeah.
You hit the
Lemonade.
butt with the snap,
Crunchy.
and then you're back. Yeah, we all know it.
Eat it once.
This is why I can't wait till we're live, because this little gem right here is not as much fun when you're by yourself.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
I don't even know what's happening right now. They're doing some hand jive stuff. That's
Yeah.
not.
I cannot wait to introduce you guys.
It's like
to the
this.
thing that I
It's
just
like
pantomimed.
this.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, that's right.
That's going to be a moment. I can't wait to show you. And once you know, you'll never stop. All right, so Thoricus, you're instantly like, having now been witnessed what they had gone through, how they're back now, watching that reality peel away, as if it wasn't completely different, but just a layer over top. You kind of look at Rial and Divot, and all of you at the same time are like, like one skeletal finger, one magical finger, one little stout dwarf finger. And you're all like, ah. So you guys have now experienced the Shadowfell. You had been there in that dark church along the roadway heading towards the Malachite Mountains, having been summoned there from the Mirkwood. And that is one of these echo planes that exists, like an echo of the prime material plane. So too is the Feywild. And so Thoricus, in the heat of the moment, this kind of insanity. It's hard when you're dodging attacks to kind of put all the pieces together. But now, as you look around, you're in the same place. You're on this island. There's the Blue River. Like nothing really changed too much, except everything's not Technicolor madness. So you three boys, are like all stroking your various beards, while the ladies finish out their awesome game of the thing. I just can't freaking wait to show you guys. And yeah, so you guys are keenly aware of what just happened. You somehow ended up in the Feywild there for a little bit.
And I know that. I critically know that.
Yes, you were like, oh, of course. You asked the question, because it was you that was like, what just happened? And then you're like, wait, I know what just happened. It was this.
And I'm totally right.
And I was right
So
about
all
it
three
the
of
whole
us
time.
say the Feywild at the same time and turn around and see them doing that.
Was it the Charleston? I think somebody's Charlestoning over there. All right, so yeah, you guys kind of, you collectively, you've got that information now. You do still see this big beam of magic in the far off distance past some of the karsts that surround this area. But you see kind of like the trees get a little darker as they get farther along into this place, and then the woods get a little thicker. It's got that same kind of like heaviness of the Mirkwood, but without all the crazy insanity stuff.
Okay, well, without all that insanity stuff and losing vital members of the storyline.
Two of you died.
Wow. Oh my.
You kill two
All right,
players,
so
and everybody gets upset.
You guys explain to me what's going on, even though I already critically knew that in my own head. I'm like, oh, okay, so I was totally right the entire time.
My guess
You guys
is-
were fucked up. I get it.
To be completely honest, while I was playing patty cake, I was not paying attention. So could one of you tell me what?
Yeah, I was pretty focused on
came to?
dancing.
I'm like, we have to go back to town and get that little girl.
Back
Wait,
to
down?
town. She went down this
Yeah,
path
she went
here.
through
So she
Oh,
went down
did
the
she?
path we're
She
going
came
down.
with us. She did come with us.
She
Okay.
did. She's pretty forgettable, I understand, but Brian's with her, and Brian got her back. So let's just keep going down this path.
We
Sorry.
agreed to call her painfully normal.
Sounds good to me.
We agreed on that.
That's
Painful.
where I snap to it. I get like responsibility brain. I'm like, oh shit, the kid.
Kevin! Esmerelda!
I forgot to
She's
lock the
with the
garage.
crocodile that eats people. It's fine. It's
All right, so you
fine.
do see, as that this kind, it's kind of this like murky water that turns like most of the far shore is mud for a little while, and you see the thick tracks of Brian's body, his reptilial frame. You see like the classic tail whips along the mud, and it just that's kind of following a pretty natural path that goes forward. So as you guys kind of start progressing through, you start to notice. Around you on the pathway, there are all these strange little offering bowls. And so you see like some of them like wooden hand-carved bowls full of, at this point, rotten milk, and another little small area where it appears like almost like a small birdhouse has been built right into the ground. There's all these strange little trinkets and hanging feathers, and you see like little circles of gemstones placed on the ground. And it just you're kind of like looking around, and there's all that's like for a good 50 feet, you see tons of this like old spoiled meats that had been left in cornucopia wraps, and old dried bread crusts, and some of it has like little bites taken out of it. You notice.
I look at the group and I'm like, I can smell death. Do not touch them. The milk's gone bad.
Okay. Do I notice anything else weird around, or is it just still going down the same path?
It's pretty much so like, yeah, the forest in front of you is getting more and more dense with these kind of like really thick, viney, jungle-esque trees. They've got like a lot of, it's getting thicker and thicker, harder to push through. You see the trail that Brian left is getting smaller and smaller, but you push on past some of the larger karsts that outline this area. And, you kind of start making your way through this pathway. And then, as if like cleared by people, you see there's almost like this road path that leads forward toward where the big beam comes down, in between the jetting dark trees on either side. Tina, you immediately start hearing whispers.
Do you guys hear that?
Hear what?
I'm actually partially deaf in this ear. So
And I was just
Ew,
kind of
that
making a
sounds
noise similar to that. I was like, just coincidentally.
Can I make out any words in the whispers?
So, what this is important, do you speak the language Sylvan?
The learning center?
Let me double check, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
The high school my dad graduated from?
No, I don't.
So yes, you do not, like I said, it's just kind of, but again, it's not, if it was a voice, it would resonate through the air around your ears. This, you kind of feel it coming from the trees in the area in front of you as this pathway opens up. You look, there's no more offering plates, there's no more bowls, no more bread. This path seems completely untouched. The heavy body of Brian the Crocodile has no longer left tracks, and there's small green grass that leads the way in between these two trees. You can kind of make out, as you look through the cracks in the trees, some broken stones and rocks, and you can see where the big giant energy wave that's coming down from the sky disappears behind the trees. It's so thick in front of you.
I feel unsettled that the whispers are emanating from the trees, a natural source, because that's where I should feel connected to the most. But again, I shove it down, I move forward, I carry on, and then as I carry on, I notice that I'm feeling low energy, groggy, I'm injured. I need to heal myself. So I'm going to take this moment to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
So you, again,
Yeah.
I like to describe hit points not just as physical damage, but emotional as well. And that's really where the bulk of your damage has come from, is in experiencing these heavy decisions that you've had to make. And now as the whispers kind of hit your mind, you reach your hands up to your ears, and your hands start glowing with that divine light. And again, like that rushing river, it washes a lot of this anxiety and fear out of you. Nice. 11 healing from your cure wounds.
Awesome.
I'm so sorry I shot you. Do I know that I shot her?
So
Beta
you,
blockers, baby.
it's very much like a dream. Like I would say you might. It's, you know, if like there's something happened, you remember a strange spot, you remember you remember a lot of the emotions of the experience. Like you remember being really scared. You remember being worried for your hat. You remember attacking something, you know. And so as you could see the actual physical wounds on your friends, you could make that correlation.
And I feel the radiating light of Shantia wash over me, and I feel a little bit better. Shall we press on?
Yeah, I look at the glowing orange of her, and then the blue like beam in the sky, and I'm like, let's add some colors to that rainbow.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And then I'm like, tagline.
Coming next summer.
Next summer.
In the year 2021.
Yeah, at this point, David is like doing a thing and he doesn't even understand it. What do I mean when I say coming soon?
Never even heard that before. Did I just make that up?
In a world.
What's happening?
All right.
While we're walking on the path, I kind of want to like nudge Thoricus and say, did we like fight?
You tried a little. It was embarrassing. You should have been there. I felt bad for you for like a long time.
I think I kicked your ass.
I full on know that he was dead, right? So I'm like,
I'm trying to tell a story. Come on.
and I just like have popcorn. I'm listening to him.
Well, did
You
you
know
die
what?
or did you not
You know,
die?
You did fine.
Yeah, did you?
I still respect you. You're a noble warrior. You got a couple in there. Good for you, kid. You got this old guy. Good for you. You feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I do. Thank you. And I just walk away.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. You better walk away with pride in how good you kicked my ass. Fuck. She's already gone.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I could heal you, buddy.
Thank you, by the way. I don't know where you are. Somewhere in the setup.
We're all
Thank you.
together, right? I thought.
Yes,
We're
but
all
I meant
together.
in the camera angles. I don't know where we are
Oh.
right now. So I think you're either down there or you're down there. I'm not
I'm
sure.
stoned. I don't know either.
But either way, thank you so much.
Mhm.
The haircut, by the way,
Oh yeah.
holy shit. Yeah,
Roll for haircut. Crib. All right, so
that hairdo though.
all right, so you guys are kind of like going down this path, you know, getting closer and closer to this large beam of energy. You know, it appeared blue in the sky as you were pretty far away, but as you get closer and closer, it starts to turn to like an almost like maroony purple as it gets closer and closer to the trees, as if the energy of this place itself distorts the very beam that draws this energy toward it. Again, you see no mark, no footprints, no sign of Esmerelda nor Brian as you kind of weave your way, through the entrance of this area. As these trees, again, pretty wide, 20, 25 feet between these trees. This grass pathway just leads forward. And then as you kind of start walking beyond the offering plates and into this different, area in between the trees, and you start seeing motion between some of the cracks in the trees as you move forward, and you see Brian snapping his jaws as the little girl with the blue glowing eyes kind of floats at the tip of her toes next to him. You see two kind of tribally dressed animal, like half human, half animal, one a deer, one an elk, with the horns kind of coming back. You see like different tribal wrappings and markings all over their bodies. You hear the same, Tina, it's the same language. Does anybody here speak Sylvan?
I do.
Okay, sorry.
So you see they're screaming, "Damn you, beast! Give us the girl! Give us the girl!" And you see as Brian snatches away, one of them draws up a spear. And that's where we're gonna pick it up after intermission, guys.
Whoa. Whoa.
No.
Absolutely excuse me.
No.
Absolutely, excuse me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, excuse me?
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I'm sure some of you saw that one coming. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Sorry about the little techie stuff there. That's what happens when you're doing the thing. All right. So we're gonna take a quick 10-minute intermission. Like I said, do not miss the stuff at intermission. There is an amazing slideshow of all the great fan art that's been submitted for the show. Some really incredible stuff from a lot of just amazing artists. And guys, it means the world to us to see like these visual representations of the thing that we're creating. So thank you to all the artists who are doing that. If you want to drop your art on the show, just come on over to the WeeD&D Hub group on Facebook. Drop it there. That's the easiest way. So yeah, hang out. Amazing music from Sandy Stein, featuring some of his newer music here during intermission. Definitely hang around. We like to bump up the audio and really let you hear how brilliant his work is. So thank you guys. We'll see you in 10 minutes. We're going to use our hit dice, and we will be back to resume our tale.
Do you think these guys are ready to die?
Oh, they're so ready.
So ready.
Welcome back, buds, to Weed&D. Whew, we're having ourselves quite a time. I think we should just jump back in, guys. If you recall, you were following this strange grass path through this winding area between, two trees on either side. The deep, thick trees.
Yeah.
Roll for penis.
That surround the Dryad's Holt. Up ahead of you, you see the sight again. The elk with the antlers, man, with the spear. Half elk, half man. You see him raise the spear as he begins to attack Brian the Crocodile. Now, before we jump right into this, I just wanted to say, as far as the show goes, we are switching back to traditional initiative. In Dungeons & Dragons, the way that the turn order is usually done, rather than popcorn. We had originally used popcorn to facilitate our team attacks, but we're going to tweak our team attacks and have them work kind of within a more traditional framework. So we'll all be going back to initiative, and so I just wanted to clarify for anybody that's like, wait a minute, didn't they used to do popcorn? We did. We tried it. We're moving on. So yes, at this point, basically, you see there's, like I said, some broken stones and bricks littered around. You can kind of make out through the trees to your left there. There seems to be this gleaming treasure box. Around it, a bunch of fallen gray slate stones. The path kind of turns into more of a dirt path, as it seems like it's actually seen a lot of travel, as opposed to the grass that you just walked through. The breeze that kind of surrounds the Malachite Mountains fills this place too, and you can hear the kind of cutting whirs of the wind as they pass through the great stone karsts that surround the Dryad's Holt. You hear kind of like a sound from this beam of energy that, like I said, you can kind of see coming down from the sky, and as it kind of melts as it gets near this area into this purpley pink and dark maroon wave of energy that's bearing down just on the other side of the trees, but the trees so thick that you can't see them. Tina, you still hear the whispering getting louder and louder as you get closer and closer to this moment. But guys, at this point, that's initiative. So go ahead, select your tokens, and roll initiative, and it'll pop up on our little turn order. And then we will play this out. If you beat that dude's initiative, you might be able to stop him from hurting Brian. Ooh, that's a good one. Thoric has 20 on his initiative. 19.
Oh my god.
Man, hot rolls tonight. Let me,
That hasn't
I forgot I
happened in a
have
while.
to do it too.
Got some pizza rolls coming out the oven.
Totinos.
All right.
I'm just gonna roll.
That's fine.
How am I going third with a 19?
Okay.
All right.
So, let me see if I can order this room. There we go. Oh, nope, it didn't work. Let me just move you guys into a corner.
Been a while,
Sorry, it's been a
gang.
while since I've used the
Yeah.
turn order. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little rusty.
Yeah, it's okay.
For those of you
It's all
listening to the
good.
virtual podcast recording, at this point, Brandon is changing the initiative order.
We are
Mm,
all
mm.
friends and we love each other, and it's okay
Best
because we're
friends.
learning together. Learning together, learning together.
Yeah.
Learning
Now we're doing the
together.
thing. All right, Rial Othravan, the dexterous and ever alert. And cutting at a moment's notice as you see the spear begin to lift back, and you see the 10-foot, crocodile, Brian the Crocodile, a friend, ally, and mount of Brunor. In fact, friend of the five. You see the tattered kind of dragon wings still, hanging off his shoulders as he snaps his great mighty jaws. The first time you've really seen him attacking something furiously. He stands at the side of Esmerelda, floating on her two tips, her eyes still gleaming blue, staring forward toward where you see that large beam of energy coming down. Rial, you act quickly enough that you cut in before the berserker's able to drop his spear. What do you do?
I at least shout out to the party, since I understand Sylvan, which he was speaking in. I at least tell them, they called Brian a beast, they're after the girl. Flick of the whip, shoot off some Daughter of Ash to the spear, animal man? Is it the elk or the deer?
It's the elk. Yeah, you see his big giant antlers sticking back. The other one has antlers too, but they're just like tied on. They're like part of the setup. The other one's a deer. But yeah, you see the elk man, elk face, humanoid legs with this giant spear pulled back. 24 AC is definitely enough. Now he actually isn't aware of you, Real, so he doesn't see you. You actually get your sneak attack on that.
3-6 coming at your elk ass.
Ooh, rolling hot. There it is. So 13 on the sneak attack, 5 on the bow attack, bringing our total to 18. Nice. Boom.
And as Rial spits those words out of his mouth, a quick chill runs down my spine. How does he know this language? Those words that were whispering in my head, why does he speak this same tongue?
Yet again, another strange thing, Tina, where, the math about the man Real, doesn't all seem to add up, and so yet again, kind of, at a moment's notice, you're like, strange. But yeah, Real, you fire the Daughter of Ash, you pull it pretty quickly from the back of the group, and, Tina and Bruno, at this point, you guys have fought together enough that you almost instinctively just tilt to the side, and you see the arrow come down and is let loose by the dexterous Real Othervon. The arrow sails through, and as he's about to come down with the spear, it stabs him right in his little elk chest. He lets out a cry, screams out in Sylvan. So Real, you understand. Fuck! They say fuck too, guys. All right.
Got that.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. So yeah, that's your action, Real. What else do you want to do? Anything?
Oh boy. I at least let them know what's going on. Is it double a movement square if I'm going through Brunor? Because it's going around?
Actually, yes. It is difficult terrain unless you are a size smaller than the person. So you would not. Yeah, it would count. It's difficult terrain. So that one square would cost you 10 feet of movement, and then the rest would be normal.
Okay.
Somewhere, rules explained, looks at the sky, fist in the air. Back to normal initiative, he says. Yo, real talk, just a fun thing. That's gonna happen. I sent a message to Rules Explained after we had that little fun moment in chat, and we are gonna do an interview with Rules Explained. And
Hell yeah!
I'm really looking forward to doing it. So keep your eyes out for that little hot piece of content. Explain.
Dude.
Yes.
Is this our 6-month anniversary present?
This is my gift to you. 6 months, buds, people, Rules Explained.
You shouldn't have.
It's gonna happen.
Oh my God.
It was Tina's haircut was just so
Black
good.
card.
Stop, you shouldn't have, but you did.
All right. So Ria, you go ahead and move into the trees there.
I do, and then I'll cunning action hide just to put a little peanut butter on that one.
All right, perfect. Put a
Yeah.
little PB on that J.
Peanut butter and
Speaking of
Real.
J's. It's already lit. I just went to light it. Oops. You're on.
Sam
You're on.
is highest.
Probably.
All right, so go ahead and give me a stealth there, Real. And we'll just see how good you're.
You got it.
Unless they come actively looking
Another
for you.
card. You got it.
Ooh, a crit!
Pew pew pew.
Crit hit. Cool. I love those little Sandy's fantastic little sound cues for the crit hits are my favorite.
Love
Wait,
you,
wait.
Sandy Stein.
Andy Stein.
Sandy's time.
Smoking weed has never felt so epic.
Truly.
The best review I've ever heard. Holy
All right.
shit.
So no longer is it up to Real. What's up next? If that's the end of your turn, Real, Thorcus, you're up. Divot, you're on deck. See, I said deck that time.
You're on dick.
Dick.
I remember I just said dick.
Thanks.
That was weird.
All right.
Hey, whatever.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I forgot to. Real, you would actually notice this as you move into the trees and kind of make your position. You, that little angle you've got there kind of reveals this little section here. So you, as you look, past the elk and the deer creature that are, currently trying to put hands on Esmerelda and fighting with Brian, you look past and you see this, beautiful almost as if she's carved out of wood that's come to life. This creature just dancing, spinning around, again, almost floating on the top of this rock. Her hair flows down like green leaves and long, strains of watered, of seaweed. And it seems like she moves at a whole different speed than her surroundings. You see another one even farther back, standing on yet another stone, dancing near what you can now see, this large, glowing, pulsating purple light. Glowing from where that beam comes down. But that's all you kind of see from where you're at.
Holy shit.
So Thorkus, you see Rial dart off into the trees. This all kind of happens in the same 6 seconds. So as he springs off to the trees after letting loose the bow, you are up. What do you do?
I'm gonna move. And, it's been a little while, but bringing him out. Trusty Dusty.
Trustin' Dustin.
Correct! Gosh, you guys! Alright. Ceremoniously. Great hit, team. Sorry, it sounds like the plane's about to crash into me. Fantastic. Holy crap.
Wow. Delicious.
All right. That purple light ain't the only thing that's pulsating. All right.
Get dirty tonight.
All right, moving forward. Thorkus, you pull out Trusty Dusty, and as is the case, you haven't used him in just long enough for the trademark coating of dust as you pull the sweet longbow out, and as you twang the string, a little puff of the sedentary dust on its side. As you, dude, nice, light him up with a crit. That's 10 damage. Nice. I'm still in reveal mode. This will be a constant game for us tonight. 10, nice, 39. All right, so he is not yet bleeding. You see right where the first arrow of Rial, almost instinctively you use it as your own target, and you draw back. Again, you don't like to use the bow, but you can. Boom, you set in, and your arrow, no, I'm not gonna do it this time, just sticks next to it, into the chest of the elk, who screams out, you fucking, only Rial knows that then. All right, you have 2 attacks.
You damn right I do.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Uno mas ves, por favor.
You see the spear keeps kind of falling back. Now, 8, unfortunately with an 8 AC, not good enough. You see as he's kind of falling back. Now the second arrow, and he finally, rather than paying attention to Esmerelda, finally you see his elk face, long features, gray, kind of short gray hair and these antlers that stick back. It turns and looks at you, and you see kind of just a fiery wildness where its eyes should be. Rather than animal eyes, there's just this wave of kind of magic in the eye socket. You see the spear, rather than continuing to attack Esmeralda, as the third arrow comes at him, he bats it away, showing that he actually has some prowess. Boom, spearing this arrow out of the air.
Well, I guess at least he's not trying to stab her with the spear right now, so.
Brian, I'm sorry, he's trying to stab Brian.
God damn it. All right. Well, still, he's not trying to right now.
Yeah.
Because he just swatted away the arrow, right?
You right.
Yeah, silver linings, y'all.
Busy.
Now, I know that when I use the weapon that shall not be named as of yet,
TBD.
I do get a bonus action with that. Does that also count with...
No, in order to get the bonus action, you do have to have...
just with that weapon.
Yeah. Yep.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no, it's a new feat, That's how we're
sure.
finding out. But yeah, no, in that case, you need to be using the axe itself to grant yourself the bonus action attack with the other blade.
Gotcha. All right, then... that's it.
All right, Divot, you're up.
Okay. I do one of these, and I turn to look at Tina right next to me, and I'm like, watch this. And I stroll to about right here, and I look at the one of these two guys that has taken no damage.
That would be the deer on the far side. I'll kind of ping where that's at right there.
Okay, to the left.
Yeah, the farthest one.
And I look at him and I want to cast message, right? Which I can do because language is irrelevant, right?
Correct. It's actually the language is irrelevant thing comes from your warlock trait where you can communicate telepathically. As long as
Excellent.
they can speak, they can understand you when you communicate telepathically with them.
Okay, so I'm casting message, and I say to the deer guy, I'm like, my child, this is your god. Your brothers have betrayed you. Your new allies have arrived, and you must aid them at all costs. It is the only way.
You
like
hear
that.
back.
The ritual must be completed.
Fuck.
Did you just Randy Jackson your
I
ass?
don't want you to think, Divot, that was a bad idea. It is a good idea. These to cue you in a little bit through your magic of that moment, you're like, it didn't. There was some kind of distortion. It's imaginary. It seems to be bound to this purpose.
Okay.
You know, you see the
I
kind of
look at
magic
him and
burning into
say,
your eyes.
Watch what?
Ooh.
And I'm like,
You hear a
Damn.
crisp snap.
I'm in some hot room.
Shoot. I was really just banking on that word.
That's one of the most D&D things I've ever heard, my friend.
So I'm just going to casually like back up to like right here and whisper to her like, the thing that I'm going to do will happen soon.
And you fade into the trees, like Homer into the bushes. All right, so Divot, you and Thoricus both, you know, as you kind of turn the corners, you've noticed the full sight here. There's this large sundial that's like moving around magically, spinning, like time is distorted on this very point. These purple waves weaving out, and again on these rocks kind of decorated around at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You've got these big giant fractured boulders and these beautiful wood-skinned dryads dancing as these waves of purple energy just kind of like...
Is it obvious to me that it's a sundial?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I look at the sundial and I realize that there's no shadow on it, right? Because the sun is up all the
Correct.
time.
Yeah, and this beam is kind of like this large red and yellow, magenta and burgundy wave kind of coming down on the top of it, seemingly, the point of that large distortion you saw in the sky, focusing directly down on this one sundial. You see kind of like turquoise and orange colors and with ivory accents as it kind of spins around at its own rate, kind of matching the spins of the dryads on each of the rocks surrounding it. You do notice on the farthest side is another one of those elk guys, and he's kind of just standing on the rock, like looking around, and you see him kind of noticing over the spectacle of what's happening, that people are attacking his allies.
Okay, so I see the sundial and I see the sun and I think about how much I hate that it's never night anymore, and I kind of just go, and that's the end of my turn.
You're like, damn. You're leaning against the tree, just like, damn. But yes, you're right. The sun still unmoving since the when the great druid Achias froze it in the sky after, indulging in a strange beverage granted him by Divot. If we want to,
Allegedly.
want
Why
to
does he bring up old
bring up
shit?
some old stuff.
Past is the past.
That was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yes, Divot. After you is these animals, these half elk, half deer, humanoid creatures. And you see as they rage in the attack, the one that has the elk head with the 2 arrows in his chest, he looks back at you and lets out a great and you see him kind of just like start shaking very vibrantly and mad. He gets himself into kind of a rage, if you will.
Yeesh.
And so you see finally, rather than engaging with you guys, he is going to continue to attack Brian the Crocodile standing in front of him, literally the crocodile biting at his feet. And here he goes. And he gets advantage on this, but you all get advantage against him. 14 AC is good enough
Damn
to
it.
hit
What?
Brian. Spear damage. Here we go.
Come
Ooh,
on.
10 damage. So you see 2 arrows in his in his chest. He looks up and that burning magic in his eyes kind of swells and gets a little more intense. You see, with this furious rage, recklessly attacks Brian, leaving himself totally vulnerable. All of you having been in many battles, it's like he's not really trying to defend himself in any way. With full fury, he stabs down right into the top of Brian's back for 10 damage. You see a great pillar of blood come from the wound as the spear lands true, and Brian instinctively, like a wild animal, just starts biting at the spear, thinking it an animal, trying to attack him. His teeth come back and lock with the wood of the spear, and you see the elk man still holding the spear, just kind of holding it in his back, furiously looking at Brian. The one far away is gonna
Fuck.
he's gonna double move. Trying to figure out what's happening, you see the elk man kind of like get down in a sprinter's position and then kind of like half gallop and run across the area right past the rippling magic where the sundial is and the dancing dryads. And he kind of like lands, and you see him look around like confusedly, also with the same burning magic in his eyes as he sees who else is back here. He did burn his action to double move to get into that position, so he's done. The other one is attempting to grapple Esmerelda. So he gets... Oh, rolling a 1! All right. He, you see him
To that.
after the message of Divot in his mind. You see him kind of like moving his little deer head around as the magic kind of crackles in his eyes, and as he reaches forward, you see Esmerelda just goes and like immediately dodges where his hand goes, completely unresponsive in her face. You see still completely still and pale, her neck bent almost too far, but you see her blue eyes continue glowing as she floats on the tips of her feet.
So like the most normal dodge we've ever seen.
So normal.
All right, so that's them. Brunor, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna. Can I throw a hand axe that far just to?
I think the hand axe is what, 20 feet?
Let me see.
30? If you just roll it, I think it says in the macro.
Nice. So 20 feet.
Yeah, 20 feet, and then you have disadvantage if it's beyond 60 feet.
Damn it!
I'm sorry, you have disadvantage after 20 feet. You
Damn it.
can't do it over 60 feet. That's how that works.
Son of a bitch.
So from where you're at, unfortunately with disadvantage, you're over 20 feet away. You can still move if you wanted to move first.
Yeah, I'm gonna move.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
moving
you have
back
your
to
full
this.
move, so you can move 6 squares.
Fucking
Awesome.
get him. I
just
hate Brian
wanna-
getting hurt.
I know. I'm coming.
There
Well,
you
that's
go.
what
Daddy's
it's
coming.
like,
I'm in for you, buddy.
if she moves
So yeah,
first-
now you don't have disadvantage.
Right.
So yeah, that's 13 AC, which is a hit. So 6 more damage. You know, the beast with the spear in the back of your friend. You throw one of your hand axes, and it lands right in its chest. Cries out, pulls the spear out. You see a little bit of blood come out like almost like a whale's blowhole out of the back of Brian. Furiously snarls at this berserker. He's bleeding now. Actually, your axe buries into his chest, and you notice that blood is coming out of his chest. So
Oh yeah.
he is
Fuck
bleeding.
that guy.
Cool. Just excellent. I will hit him with my sword now. I would like to hit with my sword now, please.
I don't think you can actually get to him
Okay.
right now.
Then I'm gonna throw another hand axe at him. Wow, wow, wow!
Whackety whack. There you go. 21 AC. Nice. Another 8 damage. You throw one, and almost like without a beat, you grab the other one.
I also mark him because if he goes after Brian again, I don't want it to be.
I think you have to be
I
within
don't want
5
it to
feet.
do very well. God. Get away from my crocodile!
Roll mark, because you might not have to be within 5 feet, but I think the thing where he has to attack you, you have to be within 5 feet. So you did hit it. It was a ranged weapon attack, so it wasn't melee. Yeah. So you have to be hitting him with your sword to do the mark.
You know, them's the bricks. This is how we learn the lessons, is we make the mistakes, right? Right, everybody?
Yeah, you did
Gotta
quite
make
a bit of damage.
mistakes.
Again, these guys seem to be pretty savage. They've got quite a bit of hit points. They're pretty
Savage.
hefty boys.
Fuck.
Yeah.
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 No.
You gotta say it like Ben
Well-
Kingsley. Fuck.
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 Okay. So then I think this.
Yeah, that might be the end of what you can do at this point. Unless you have a no,
Yeah.
you can bonus action if you have a bonus action.
I mean, if I could get like. I mean, he's going after him, but I'm afraid I'm gonna need it. Gosh darn it! I gotta save my crocodile. Can I throw another hand axe at him with bonus action?
No, unfortunately, you do only have the your 2 attacks, my dear friend.
Well, then I guess I'm just gonna stand here and
Again, this is
pull
all the
out
same
my
6
shield
seconds.
and get ready. Yep, I'm just gonna get my shield ready. I'm done.
So as you run forward, you throw both of your hand axes from your side and immediately gear up. Andrel in one hand, your shield in the other. Clearly headed to do that thing. All right. So after you is Tina. Tina, you're up.
Yeah, so Bruno and I, before she ran up, we were kind of like leaning against each other, and I was having my moment being suspicious about Rial, and those thoughts are fading away, and I'm thinking about that message of water that great tree was sending me off with, and then I remember the holy water that I have in my bag, and I want to go ahead and run forward off after Brunor, because I want to get in there with everybody, and I want to cast Bless on Esmerelda, because I see that she's in danger, and I want to go ahead and try to follow through on the mission that I feel that I've been set forward upon. And I want to cast Bless on myself, Esmerelda, and Brunor.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes, calling forth that surging river of power within yourself, you channel through. No longer is that weird, thing in the way of you and she. The power you draw upon the roots of every tree nearby, as this surge of energy washes from you and bestows the blessing of Shantia upon Esmerelda, Brunor, and yourself. Again, that gives you plus 1d4 to all of your attacks.
Yes.
And saving throws. It's very nice.
Oh,
Very
thank
nice.
you.
Very nice.
Thank
Very nice.
you. Excellent.
All right.
Well, Okay.
Tina, did you have anything else you wanted to do?
Yeah, if I could, I would also like to take this opportunity to further tap into my connection to Shantia. I feel wary in this moment, but there's also danger ahead. Clearly, I want to cast Spiritual Weapon as
Okay.
well and prepare that.
So, spiritual weapon. All right, so here's the. I apologize. And this is one of those weird things of the way D&D works. Because you've already casted a leveled spell, if you cast a bonus action, you can only also cast a cantrip that turn.
That's my bad.
Yeah, no, it's not, dude. It's
Yeah.
This is like, go to any D&D forum. This is people argue about it constantly. But that is if once you cast a bonus action spell, or even if you attempt to do it later in the round, by not casting a cantrip, it does prevent you from using your bonus action spells right now because you casted a leveled action spell with bless.
Yeah, well then, that's it for me.
All right.
I'm gonna just
So-
steel myself.
Yeah, the pious energy of Shantia, swells you, Brunor, as you feel a little helpless. And again, this is all 6 seconds, so it's not, you're not like just sitting there watching all these things transpire. But as you move and your axes fly through the air, so too do the arrows from your allies as the beast, strikes down on Brian. All these things in a moment. But again, you feel that surging rush of Shantia's touch, in this blessing that you have. Surely your blade will fall true. You feel Angerel connecting to your will in this moment to save and protect your friend. So the Dryads go, and they continue dancing. You see them, if you kind of like, rather than just focus on one, if you just kind of soft focus and look at them all, you see them all just spiraling in this slow dance, and it matches the speed perfectly of the winding sundial, where all this magical energy, burns down. All right, so that's Brian the Crocodile's turn.
Oh,
Here we go.
Lock him up.
Hold on.
Be a good boy.
Yeah.
oh.
Here's that Brian.
Lock him up. Yeah.
GBB.
My man Brian,
GBB.
down but not forgotten.
GBB.
Ain't about to just eat some spear, and that's it. You see him take a bite at the elk man before him that you all have kind of at this point gotten on pretty good. 15 AC is a hit. Heck yeah, my man Brian.
Oh, my boy.
Yes, this is cool. So you see Brian as he kind of like looks up over at the other at the deer trying to grab at Esmerelda, seeing the one with the spear in front of him, thinking he's gonna do the same. You see him bite low rather than up, at the throat, trying for a kill shot. He bites at the ankle and then does like the death spin. And spins his 10-foot massive body, and you see the elk man just like thrown to the ground, and he is grappled by Brian. You see Brian's jaws just latched on the humanoid side of this elk man's body. He is currently restrained by and grappled by Brian the Crocodile. That's the end of Brian's turn. Real, we're back to the top of initiative.
My
buddy.
boy! My boy!
Oh, shoot. Good boy, Brian.
GBB. GBB. My boy, good boy, Brian. Sweet 100-year-old baby boy.
He shouldn't have done that to me. He's just a boy.
Yes.
He's just a gator.
He's just a crocodile.
All right. My man Real.
Alright, I was about ready to click it. There we go. But the guy who hasn't taken any damage yet.
The deer, yes. A doe. A
Yeah.
deer. A female deer. No, it's a deer.
Well.
It's a man. You're fighting a man. All right. 25 AC is definitely enough. You have successfully hidden. Your stealth beat their passive, so not a ton extra on your sneak attack, but 9 damage. You shoot, right past where Esmerelda's head is kind of bent to the right. You shoot right over it, right into the kind of like collarbone area of this humanoid deer creature. 9 damage. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Noise.
Oh,
The other one's the one that's grappled right now with Brian.
yeah,
right?
the one on the ground is the one that's been pretty heavily jacked by you guys. He's the one that's bleeding.
Okay. But I haven't really seen much of this going on with the Dryads, have I?
True, just the two. You know, I've kind of revealed it for everybody now, but if you recall, you had kind of like you saw the outline of that emanating purple energy. You see the line of the two druids dancing on the rocks. Like I said, these intricately, beautifully carved women that seem to be part tree, part human.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I'm not frozen or anything, am I? Am I good?
No, you're good, buddy.
Cool. So I'm gonna head this way into this brush. Did I spot the treasure chest back there? Like in the
Yeah,
first
you saw
brush?
it, gleaming, tan and gold with gold lining treasure chest sitting over there, kind of right through that little tree clearing.
Cool. So as I shift shrubberies, I'm gonna pat Divot on the chest and let him know about the treasure back there.
So yeah, Divot, he kind of points over here. I'll ping it for you there on the map, and mentions having seen some treasure back there.
And I heard him coming, like, no problem.
Yours.
Like, normally I can't hear Rial, but when he gets close to me, it's like, doom, 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 doom.
Yep. Yeah, you hear as the heartbeat gets closer and closer. And as he whispers to you, you kind of mince a little bit. It's rather loud. But
And
it's very
I-
close.
I still feel pretty bad about just like super thrown up on my friend, so I'm gonna cunning action hide.
You're like, I love
thought you
that. It's the
did all
shame.
that.
But oh, the shame.
Do you need a shame check?
No, only unless you're wearing a dummy dumb shape.
So yeah, Divot, you hear the heartbeat, and you kind of look over, and Rial's just kind of looking at you very nervously, and then he just disappears behind one of the trees.
I'm like, what?
27 stealth, that's pretty tight.
What the fuck?
Rial, you're on the other side of this tree now, so you can kind of see there. You are also now witness to this dance, these spinning sundial and the dancing dryads on these 4 stones that surround where this, I hope I've described enough just how grand this. It's kind of like the Rainbow Bridge in Thor. It's just this massive line of energy that all comes down and channels onto this small sundial that sits kind of built up, like some kind of altar.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Damn.
And Rial, just before the end of your turn, as you disappear into the trees behind, where Divot's at, again you start hearing it. Kill the girl. You feel it rattle in your mind. Now, you're not mind controlled. That is what you hear. All right, Thorcus, you're up.
Well, I've got 2 tickets to Fucktown. So I can move here, and then here, and then here, correct?
Heck yeah, you
And
can.
right. All right. Then it's gonna be a. Oh, hold on. Let me. Scrolly.
Scrolling.
Big.
Big boy damage. 26 AC with the Lucille half of your dual-bladed weapon. 13. Yeah, you see the Lucille edge, the kind of the white and pure side of it. The Fury herself cuts right through the side of him. Ugh, it looks like right near the side. You kind of see like the outlines of a rib cage and everything. Like this dude's mostly humanoid, but he has apparently from like the shoulders up, just like an elk head.
Just 13 kill him or no?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, when you get higher levels, so do the things you fight. So you'll be like, there's gonna be some more hit points. Than
Well, I just thought because he was bloodied the last time. I was like, oh, okay. 13?
Yeah,
that's
3 attacks.
That's good. Okay. Well, so the first one was Thwickety.
I mean, he's on his way to Fucktown, Thorkus, but you got to get him there. 14 AC is
This guy's
actually
been
good
using
enough.
a lot of deer antler spray.
14 AC. As you bring the bright blinger down, the that half of your weapon with the dark, the ash metal, almost more stone than metal. You bring
like I want
the
to
bright
come
blinger
through
down.
with Lucille and then like bring it over and come down with Lightbringer.
Yeah, and as you do this, you find yourself learning new tricks. It's like you started off, even, everybody else was just blown away by how good you were. You were almost embarrassed by how rusty you looked on the battlefield, And so it's like every time you swing the blade, you're cutting fractions of a second off of that the next time you try it. And so that battle master brain of yours, you're constantly improving. And so you see as you land both sides of the attack, leaving you open for your third attack if you were to do so. 13 damage does not kill him, but he is in real bad shape.
Oh, well.
As you bring the other blade through, Thorkus.
Thickety, thackety, triggity, crackety.
You got him. What do you do?
So yeah, I'm gonna swing. What's up? I'm gonna swing through with Lucille, then bring it back over and come down with the fucking Blightbringer, and he's just gonna be like, "Bro," I mean like, "Bro," and then just like crack back up with the other side with Lucille and just crack up through the jaw and just split.
Yeah, your foot
Split that elk
stomps
head.
the ground.
Split the antlers.
You bring it up, you stomp your thick, very strong foot into the ground, plant, and you bring just like a sweet uppercut with the third strike, cutting right through the split of his defense and severing his head directly in half. You see the weight of the antlers pulls each side of his head to the ground. He drops. You see Brian's, still got his foot in the mouth, but doesn't really need to anymore. Takes the quick, but kind of like pulls like a cheese grater his teeth off the leg and just draws some of the meat from the leg and then turns his eyes toward the deer man. So he did.
Fucking take that.
Woo! Yeah, get out of here. That's asshole.
I'm good.
All right, Thorkus. Divot, you're up, bro.
All right. So once again, I'm standing in the thicket, right? And that shade reminds me of how much I hate the sun. And I look up at the sun, and I look up at this big blue beam, and I look at all the magical fucks around, and I think about how crazy the past couple of days have been, and I look at that fucking timepiece, and I'm like, well, we're in the middle of the woods. That doesn't look like it belongs here. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, fuck it. And I look at that thing and I cast Shatter right on the middle of the thing.
For the win. For the win.
Let me see let me see how I roll.
I'm gonna preemptively smoke.
I just need to check one thing.
Oh wait.
Oh
no.
my god.
Yo, my wisdom is very low. I am an impulsive man at heart.
That is never a good thing.
Yeah, but dopeness is different from wisdom, and you are heavily experienced in dopeness, my
It
friend.
has disadvantage
True.
on the saving
Well
throw.
played.
DC 16 Constitution saving throw for the time.
16 with disadvantage? Ah!
I'm
I might
gonna
destroy-
roll it with you guys. So I'm rolling 2d20. It doesn't have like a high Constitution. It is what it rolls. So I need to beat a 16 twice. Here we go.
Oh my god.
13 doesn't do it. So I lose with a 13 disadvantage. I use the lowest score. All right.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
fuck. Did I break
That's
it?
exactly. I was so ready for that. I was so ready. Yeah. All right, Divot. You throw your shatter right at the core of this twisting time clock. You see the Dryads all spinning around and, almost suspended in the air as they move, spinning in the same pace. You bring up this ball of frenetic sound energy and you throw it like a grenade. It lands right in the base of the sundial. And this great seismic wave just blows away the sundial.
Jesus Christ.
The beam dissipates. The Dryads grab at their throats, and each turns and starts running toward a tree. And, where the sundial was, just a broken pile of gears and intricate brass figurines with ivory tips. The turquoise, the orange, now broken in a crumbled mess of rock, surrounded by the purple flowers. The Dryads, all choking for air, begin to run toward the trees. That's a turn there.
Oh my.
I had that written down. I was like, dude, do that. That's why I have something right now. That's why. Just go. Who's up? Divot.
I just want to yell out and be like.
Actually, in that moment, you see Esmerelda. Her eyes fade back. Still Alec Baldwin blue, but no longer glowing with the magic energy. Her feet reset on the ground. And unremarkably, she just starts looking around.
So he just became more normal.
Cool.
We didn't think it was possible, guys, but there it is.
It happened.
Just so
Here.
unremarkable.
You were glowing. Now you're just that much less remarkable. God.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
It's disappointing if I actually.
All right. Well, possibly apologies or congratulations. I don't know.
We shall see.
Oh man. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right, Divot, you got anything else at the end of your turn, bro? You have a move still, bonus action.
Yeah, I'm
You got anything
gonna
else you'd
sink
like to
just.
do?
I'm gonna sink just a little bit deeper into these woods. I'm like, oh,
You can't hide from me,
shit.
Gus.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh no.
I'm kidding. No, that was so dope. Are you kidding me? That was the cool. Of course not.
Remember when
You're
Brayden
dope.
remember
You guys-
when Brayden and Gus were friends? That was cool.
You know what? I liked what
Oh,
this looked
remember
like.
that?
I'm gonna show you. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna hide this. I want you to see it.
Oh.
I want you to know I didn't have anything ready for this. So,
Oh.
yeah. Instead of that, it's like not that. It's like a little. Here, I'm gonna put a little black on it. We're just gonna.
Ooh.
Look, there's squares. Look at that. It's a crap load of squares.
Ooh, like the fire.
God.
Wait, what are you, a cap?
That's friends.
Look how good I
I
did that.
like it. Just like the fire.
And the
Yeah, no, we
beam,
should see
the beam
your
is also a
beautiful
bunch
art.
of black squares.
Just look, I get a crap load of squares.
I can't stop. It's crap load of
all these
squares.
squids. I've
That'd
never
be a great
seen
idea.
squids. Look at these
All these
squids.
friggin' squares here.
All right.
Fuck.
All right. So, Divot, are you done then?
Yeah, I'm super done.
Go home. No, I'm kidding.
I
All right,
guess.
so the Zerks are up. You see the deer kind of like looking at the girl. He like smells the air. You see the magic that's like burning in his eyes kind of fading out, and suddenly he just goes and falls over dead.
That dude is wicked high.
Tina, over your shoulder, you see the other one, the elk standing behind you, look up at you, sniff the air, and then the magic in its eyes dies out. It falls down, dead.
Whoa.
Does that mean we won?
You see the Dryads are kind of running away. That might, be of some merit to you.
Oh, yeah.
That purple thing that's there,
wanna go out-
it's not there anymore. But you know what? I like it. I'm going to leave it there because it makes me happy.
You too.
I love purple.
That's my choice.
Thank you for keeping it there so we could look at it.
Let's look at it together.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
did
look at
shit out of
I
Look
bought
how
that's a premium
pretty.
feature. Roll 20, premium asset. Look, Roll 20. I wrote you a crazy letter the other night. Let's talk.
Oh, good. We're talking about
Hashtag not a sponsor. Hashtag yet. I don't know. They're probably gonna be like, fuck that. All right. Here we go. We're doing it. So they, it's hard to go when you're dead. So they are
It is.
done.
Sucks.
Brunor, you are
Sucks
up.
to suck. I'm gonna go after one of these little dryads. Which one am I closest to? I'm kind
Get
of
'em.
equidistant.
30. Yeah, you can actually get right there if you want
I
to
was
like
gonna
run.
say, you can get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna
get
be
it.
like, I'm gonna run on up, and I'm gonna go, hey, and I'm gonna do, maybe some I don't want to kill it. I maybe just want to, like,
Yeah, you do.
non-lethal. No,
You wanna, like,
what
knock
if we
it
need to
out?
ask it some questions? Like, I want to kick its ass, but I don't want to.
So it is a little. I'll tell you, you can. It's just gonna. It's like it's not quite like you're knocking it out because it's like this weird wood magic creature. But yeah, you can like try to knock it to the ground and like put your foot on it. You know, that kind of thing.
Ah!
Chop its legs off.
Oh, critical miss!
Oh.
Oh,
no.
bro.
Wait, she is blessed though. She's blessed.
Yeah, even with a plus a
Yeah,
D4.
check
Actually,
out.
no. I'm sorry. A critical 1 is always a miss. A critical 20 is always a hit, only when attacking. So, even with the bless, the D4, she doesn't have advantage. She just gets a D4. So,
Yikes.
9. The critical 1, Brunor. Your first swing misses, unfortunately.
Aha!
Well,
The
it-
first.
Take this.
Wait.
I
Yeah.
take the
The
strike to
second
the
one
ego, and I
doesn't.
go, wah, 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 and I go again.
Nice. You come down, after missing with the first, you see she turns, she kind of grasping her throat. You notice that it's like she can't breathe, and it like pauses your blade for a moment. But then you see kind of a sick malice in her face, like you feel a trickstery energy off of this thing, and you're like, better be safe. And you swing down at the leg, sweep the leg with the with your blade. For 9 damage, it's not dead, but it's sapping.
But does it have a thing?
I'm just gonna. I'm cool. I'm gonna hang out there. I tripped her.
All right.
Tripped her good. Knocked her right on her ass. Take it.
As
Take that, you sapling bitch.
All right. So if that's the end of your turn, Brunor, Tina, Smooth Hands, you up, Smoothie.
alrighty then. Alrighty, so I hear the sound of rushing water in my ears as I'm concentrating on bless, but my concentration breaks and I see the imminent danger that the party is in, and so I decide to break my concentration with that spell, and I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on the far left
You can
Dryad.
cast Sacred Flame. Sacred Flame doesn't cost concentration, so you can keep up Bless and cast Sacred Flame.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
The only stuff that'll knock off your concentration are other spells that you have to concentrate on. Spiritual weapon, you just kind of go like, ah, and you shoot it out. It's not like you have to be like,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
thinking about protecting my allies in this moment, kind of a thing. So yeah, you're totally good.
Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead, spiritual weapon.
All right, cool. And I believe I can cast it from where I am because the range is 60 feet.
Yeah, you got
Right?
sweet
Okay,
range.
cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool.
You're kind of looking down at the dead body of this, elk person just cracked on the ground. And you just channel a little magical energy in your hand. Call this holy arcing light that burns down. It gets to make a dexterity save. Are you attacking the one Brunor's on, or one of the other ones?
The left one, the farther one.
Over here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this one gets to make a dex save. Oh, it failed. All right, so yeah, it takes full damage. 10 damage,
yeah.
nice. Searing, searing it as well. It doesn't, take it down. It's still, you see grasping at its throat as the burning light burns its back. Tina, you immediately recognize, as a creature that recoils from this kind of energy that way. These are they're not nice ladies.
Yeah. And would equipping my spiritual weapon be something that break my concentration right now?
We've determined spiritual weapon is not concentration. Yeah, no, you could do
Okay.
that. And because you casted a cantrip, you can cast a bonus action spell.
All right,
Boom,
cool. Yeah,
look at
just
her
want to
go.
clarify
Killing it.
that. All right,
Killing
cool. Yeah, I want to channel that energy. I want to tap into my girl,
Heck yeah.
Shantia. I want to unleash my scythe, cut down some wheat right now.
Ooh, cut that
Prepare
wheat.
it.
Yeah, go ahead and cast it for me.
Cast it.
Ooh, I gotta bring up, that's on another window. Ooh, look, and this is the song that Brennan sings when he's searching for a scythe. And this is the song that Brennan sings when he's searching for a scythe. And then he found a scythe, and now he's dragging the scythe onto the map. What? Oh, did I miss? Oh, I missed a crit! Which piece? Ooh.
Two.
There it is. Okay. Woo. You guys are killing us tonight. All right, with a crit on that spiritual weapon, 60 feet, the range is good. You call forth your scythe, kind of raising from the grass around it, ready to harvest the wheat. 12 damage. Oh, guess what, Tina? You see this scythe kind of gleam back as one of the beams of the ever-frozen sun in the sky gleams across the arced blade of the scythe. And as if you were swinging it yourself, you move your arms right through. You see the scythe slices it in half. The legs drop to one side. The head falls on the ground to the other side. You got her.
Movie.
What?
What up, Smooth?
Team Tina.
Slice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the only restriction is the thing that sucks with magic is it's like you don't have that non-lethal, it's like magical blade of energy just does what it does. With a slight crit.
All we need is one.
All we need
All right,
is
awesome.
one.
I do all of that, and I still manage to keep my concentration because I'm so focused on the message, the mission that this tree has guided me to.
Save the girl. Save the
girl.
daughter. Save the children.
Save the children.
All right, did you want to move at all?
No. I think I'm gonna step forward. Well, actually, no. I think I'm gonna stay where I am. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So Tina, after you is the Dryads. Brunor, you're gonna make an attack of opportunity.
Hey, all right.
You see the Dryad not trying to face you in armed, hand-to-hand battle right now. She continues running for this tree.
Well, shucks.
Tina, you hear the voices echoing. 13's, that's good enough. 7 damage is not good enough, unfortunately.
Beans.
So you slice it again. Again, you're trying to just like cut the other leg off so that you've got the stump and that way you can't run. But it just, man, you hack in. The bark is thicker than you would imagine. This creature is part wood and brought life. So as you slice at her, she dives into this tree like a diver dives into the water, grasping at her throat. She sticks her hands out and dives into the tree. You see a little gleaming energy. Rial, you look beyond Brunor. Another one dives into the far tree on the north side. Tina, you look on the northwest side as the final Dryad jumps into the tree. Tina, your mind is full of these sylvan shatters. The static starts growing, and you feel the ground shaking around you as you watch each of these 3 trees uproot themselves, and these wooden feet draw like roots from the ground and tug at the earth, and with mighty steps that shake the ground, you see 3 treants.
So they basically hopped in their wooden mechs. And their mechs was like Xenogears.
And that is where we're gonna pick it up next
Son
week,
of
guys.
a
Whoa.
I'm gonna do something with this map. You watch. And now I feel challenged. No, that's exactly how I always expected everything to go. I planned that to a T. If you see, that's what it says back here. It's not just a card that says the 5 senses. Like I forget.
I am
What
pining
the 5,
over your
and I
decision.
wrote them. It says the 5 senses, and then what they are. See, that's not even it. It's sight. It's not see. All right.
In case you forgot.
And there's one
Just
back
in
here that
case.
says sexy goblin.
That's why
All
you're
right,
so silly.
That was Boxo. He was a sexy man. I was attracted.
Dude, sexy. Big sexy energy.
All right, guys. Holy shit. A lot of fun. This is why D&D is the greatest game ever created. Honestly, I love all role-playing games, don't get me wrong. But you know, there's just something about that fantasy era with the homies that's just, it's just that good stuff. So I want to thank my cast from the bottom of my heart. 6 months, dudes. We have done this. You guys have been rock stars. Trust me, this is not as easy to coordinate as it might appear. And I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I love you. I honestly love this project. I love working with you guys. And I love the stories that we get to tell together. So find a group of friends, play fucking D&D, love people, be nice, be funny, and fucking vote.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
like fucking
please.
vote. All right. We like to close things out the way
Like, life
that we
depends on
start
it
them.
because it does.
Little ritual. Maybe you've heard about it. Maybe you haven't. But we like to go lighters up. Thanks for playing D&D with us for 6 fucking months, guys. We love you.
Yay, yay. Smoke weed every day.
Every day. Okay. Okay. I do that. I can do that. That's my to-do list. Smoke weed.
Every day.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.